Hello everyone. So let's talk about the last thing on our list, which is functions. So I'm not sure how long this tutorial is going to be because we are going to just try to refactor our code to use functions as much as possible. So what are functions? In PHP, functions are, well, you can group functions into two types. There is the inbuilt function and there is the user-defined functions. So a function is a block of code assigned to do or to carry out specific tasks. A function is a block of code that is to carry out a specific task. Inbuilt functions are things that has been made readily available for you when you code. Things that we know that you would definitely do these things often, and so they wrote functions to make it easy for you. Functions you can just easily call. And if you pay attention, we've been using a lot of functions. I mean, include is a function. Um, a set is a function defined somewhere. We are not going to be looking at where it is defined. So basically, functions are like that. Inbuilt functions are those things that have been done ready-made for you to use. A user-defined function, however, is something you define yourself to use in your own way. So, for example, there are a few things we are doing here, like outputting an error message here. We can decide to group this into a function and use it on multiple pages. So to define a function, what you need is the keyword function and then the name of the function, just like this. So let's start trying that out now. Let us open a folder for functions. Let's do that here. Let's say functions. Let's create our first function for outputting messages such as this on the pages. So call it alert.php, which will serve as our alert function. And so I'll start my PHP tag here and create a function for message. And I'm going to pick this and bring it here. So my message function is checking just, well, this is for error. Okay, so I'll just change this to error and duplicate this for message. Right? And then I will start my session here so that this will work. Okay, so now I've been able to, this is message. Oh, I'm copying the wrong thing actually. Let's check for login page. Yes, this is better. So let's pick the function, the message here, and use here. And pick the error here too. There's error here, I believe. Yes, this is it. And use here. Okay, now I can go back to my login page and include that function that I just created. Well, I should use require because my code should break if this does not work. So alert.php. Remember, this has to always be at the top because it has my session start. In which case, I might not even need this, but I'll leave it there for now. So now I can come here and clean this up and say this is message. Is that message or error? Okay, it's message. Message. To call the function, I'm just going to do this. I'll call the name of the function and terminate. That's all I need. So by so doing, I've reduced the code here. And then here, I'm going to change the error. Instead of this long message here, I'm going to have this. This should still work. I'll go back to my page, refresh. Not found. Oh, it's functions, not function, plural. So refresh. I have my page. There's an error because I already started function session already, which is what I thought earlier. So I do not need this here. I'll refresh, and everything is there. If I try to log in with the wrong details, I still get the invalid message. So that works. Now I can go to all my pages. Here I have error. I can replace this with uh, error, include my function at the top, include my function there, and this should work now. And I can include my function in other pages too, like the index page, add my function here, and change this here to a message or error message. Of course, you can use a better name. I don't need to touch this. So I need to come to register page, include it up here too, and replace all these outputs. So this is error, and I don't have message here. So it's a little easier for me to just include message here too. That's fine, so it still works in case I have message. So I can even do this for all my pages and say here, include both, and on login, just include both here instead of doing this. Okay. I think I have to include it on reset too. So that's going to be here. Include them here. And include function alert here. File once, functions, alert, that's PHP. So our code should still work as expected. There should be no errors of any kind. Everything still works as expected. Okay, so that's basically how we can use functions to make things easier for ourselves. Another thing we can use function for is when checking if a user is logged in. Instead of printing out a session here and using session every time, we can create a function for that. I'm going to create another file for that. I'll call it users. So anything user related, where is functions? I'm going to have it there. So users, and then have my PHP tag. Now, what I want to do is to say is user logged in, and how do I do that? I'm going to just get this and put it here. So if user session is set and user session is not empty, so I need to add it here. If it is not empty, I need to close one more. Return true. So if both of these items are met, then the user is logged in. Otherwise, return false. Okay, so now I can use my user function on this page. Let's call the function here. And then down here to check if user is logged in, I'm going to do it here. Is user logged in? So it's easier this way, right? And I can even separate this and create a function for its token set. Let's go there and create a function. Token set. and just place this here. Okay, so I want to check if token is set. If token is set and or this actually, either of the two is fine. I need to close one more, then do this. Return true, otherwise return false. Okay, so this should still work. What else can we? So up here, I would have if not token tokens. So it's easy for anybody to understand. If user is not logged in and user token is not set, then send them here. I mean, it's that easy. We can also separate this into a function and use alert, then alert type. We will still be doing that. Let's just complete our user functions for now. Here too, we need to check. Okay, we can't do that here. What we can, okay, yeah, we can do it here. We can say it's user logged in here. Yeah. Where else can we use that? Let me copy this. Okay, that's all. That's all. So for this, we can create more functions. I don't think we'll ever need to use it multiple times. So we might not need to do that. But what I'm trying to say is we can create different functions. Just for this, we can say function is token set in session and bring this here. It's going to be returned. Um, this is quite straightforward, right? So is set is checking if token is set. So if it is set, it's going to return true. Otherwise, it's going to return false. We can do that here too. Instead of this bogus line of code we have written, we can just take all this out and return the response from this check. Of course, this is not going to work out as we want, so we need to create for its users token set in get. So we need to bring this here. And then the combined method will now be return is token set in get or is token set in session. So we have separated these two into their own functions, and now we are using both functions here. So if I go to my forgot password, I expect everything to still work as normal. It's still loading. Remember, it's going to send an email and all that, mail trap. So everything still works as expected. So we can do this, and now we can use this function on this page. Is token set in session. Is token set in session. If it is set in session, use this. Otherwise, use this. We can. Okay, so I think that's it. So we have been able to separate some of the things we are doing here and use functions for them, making our code look a little neater and more explanatory. So this is obviously easy for anybody to understand. I'm asking if the token is set in session. If it is, use the session or use the get. So it makes it easier. This is not it's not like foolproof, but I'm just trying to explain how you can still make your code neater and more professional. And there's something I should probably still try here on alert. We should be able to set alert. Let's try it. Function set alert. It will accept type. Type can either be a message or an error. So we are going to have this to be defaulted as a message. and then we are going to have the content of the message. So this is a function we are going to write, and it is going to be for setting either of these two things. So since this is for printing out the messages and the error, we can say print error and print message. And then we have set here. I need to be consistent with my meaning. So set alert, print message, print error. Of course, we can do something like print alert, which would be for printing either message, for printing message or error. So let's try to implement this. All this is going to do is to, I'll close all this. So we are working with just alert. In all of our processes, we are going to switch this code. Let's start with process forgot. Let's go up and see where we're using it. So here we are setting error. Where else? We're setting error here. We are also setting message here, setting here. We are setting here. So what we are going to do is to find a way to replace all this with our function. Right? Let's call our function here. Require functions PHP. And then here, let's see, how do we set the function now? So I'm going to try to use switch case, switch type case. If type is message, then do this. Message equals content. Break case. If type is error, do this. Error is equals to content. Break. And we can add more. We can say if type is info, set session info. Info to content and break. And finally, if nothing is set, then we can do anything. But let's use our default, which we said is going to be message. Message to be equal to content. And then I don't know if the message to break out of this, but it's fine. So what we have done is we have created a function that can help us set error messages and then the content of the message. Okay. All right, so let's try to use it here under forgot password. I've called my alert. The function is alert, set alert, and it has type and content. If I don't set type, it's going to default to message. So let's come down here and set here. For this, we're going to say set alert, and it's going to be error, comma, content we are trying to send here. Let's close this and terminate this. Alright, so let's try it on our forgot password. I have an error, provide an email, I have undefined error. Oh right, I've changed that, so I need to go and switch my I need to switch this to print error and print message because I switched it out. Okay, I'm sure I'll still have to fix it on other pages too. Let's just do that now. Why not? Print error, print message. Nothing here. I have it here, obviously. So basically, we're just refactoring things, trying to fix the errors, trying to use functions um, instead of just writing everything out on a single page. Okay, let's say message here. Right, so moving on, I'll close all this. Okay, we have used our set alert here. Let's try it out. Refresh the page, try to use an email that doesn't exist. And my alert is still setting and it's still printing out. So my code still works and everything is still okay. And now I have an extra alert type, which is info. Okay, and then we are printing it out using this. We are printing this out using this. So let's see if we can find a way to combine these two functions into just this one, so that on all of our pages, for example, on reset, we can just call one function instead of calling two. Right, so let's see how we can do that. Should we do that? We can actually, but yes, we can. Okay, so right here, for now we have just two types. And then we added one more type here, which is info. So what we are going to do is to check this would have a type. Okay, this should not have a type, it's fine. We have types to be equal to message. I'm just going to try to do this info and error. So what I want to do is to go through all these types and check if any of them is available to print. And if it is, I'll print them out. Okay, so it's going to be, let's say, print alert. I have print alert already. So let's try to go through each of them. For I is 0, I is less than count of types, and then I plus plus. So if it's set, so when it is message, if message is set, print out message. Okay, so if, well, you can use switch here. You can use switch here actually. Should we? No, I want it to be a loop so that it will print out even if I have both message and alert set. Yeah. Okay, I can destroy the session after this loop and come in and say if types underscore hyphen underscore I. So for each of these, if, all right, now I know what to do. Sorry, I'm just trying to think of ways to make it work. You can fast forward, of course. So I'm going to say if session this is set. This is a variable. So if this session is set for any of these types, then I'm also going to check if it is not empty. I'm going to do just this exact thing here. So if it is set and it is not empty, because there's something in here. Okay, so if it is set and it is not empty, this should be type. Then print out whatever that is, which is this. I mean, this could work. I don't know if it's going to work. but it's good. It looks like it's real. Okay, so it will just be print alert now. And let's see, let's try it here first. Change this to print alert and go back to our reset password page. I mean, no error right now. Let's trigger an error and it still works. This is really good. So now we have been able to switch, instead of having these two functions, we have been able to convert it to one function. So both of this function does what those two are doing. And now on all my pages, I only need to call print alert. Alert can be info, alert um, can be a message, can be an error message. So I'll change all this to print alert. Come here and print alert. And I think that's it. My login, my register, I need to print alert too. And then on my reset, I already did that. Okay, so that's something else we separated into a function. Now we have two functions that takes care of all of our alerts. And then we are destroying that session here. So if I have both message and info set, this will still print everything. Even if I have everything set, it's still going to print everything out. So which is why I wanted to use readable for that. Try to look at this code. If you are confused about anything, just let me know. But this works, and we are going to leave it that way for now. Of course, there is a problem here because everything is going to be colored green now. We can still make that work. We can say each of them comes with a color. We can say this comes with, should that be blue? No, that's green. Message is green. Info can be blue or gray, as the case may be. I'll use gray. And then my error can be red. So down here, I'm going to concatenate with okay, so this is going to be it's going to change a few things. I don't need to do this. What I can do is to say this color. Whoa. Let's see, how can I make this color work? I want the color to also be dynamic. Right, that would make sense. So I can do this colors and make sure the index of each of them match. And then the last one is red. So now I can come here, concatenate with color, and just put my high in there. This should work. So now I've been able to make the color dynamic. Let's come here, refresh it, try again with something that doesn't exist, like so. And this works, but my session destroy is not working. Why is it not working? What does it say? It says trying to destroy initialized session. Oh, this should be once, not twice. Actually, I can delete this. So refresh, try it again. Oh, this is fine. And everything still works. So we've been able to make this color also dynamic, which is good. Right, so let's see what we can still do with the user. If we are done with alert, we're going to leave the alert this way for now, and we're going to be implementing all this print alert and set alert. Of course, you can make this get alert, but I don't see the point. I'm just printing it, and I'm not returning anything here. So, okay, so on my user function, let's close all this and start working on our user function. We're done with the alert function. Let's do the user function now. So I've done check if user is logged in, check if token is set, check token is set in session, check if it's set in get. And let's do find user. So this is going to help us check the database if the user exists. Of course, that also reminds me we need set of functions for our token. So for generating token and for setting token and all that, we'll be using this function for that. So I won't forget to do token code, implement token functions. Okay, so this is getting long, and I'm still going to continue. I don't want to record more than one video for functions. So let's talk about for finding if a user exists in database. Let's come to process register. I think we used it severally here. So here, this is it. We'll copy this and bring it here. Okay, so we're trying to find a user, and the default, of course, this is going to be email because we usually use email to search. This is going to be email. And first, we need to check if that is set. If it is set, then we can actually perform the functions. If it is not set, let's return, or we can set alert. Let's use our alert here. Require, it's include functions. No, it should be just alert.php because it's the same, they are in the same folder. So here I can now set alert and say error, and then say user, so we can't find it. All right, that's fine. I can also kill the process here. So let's implement this. If this is done, if this is this point is escaped, then to come here, which is what we want. So let's see. I can now move all this. I can move this here and say, well, this is still fine. Everything is fine. This is fine. Email should be email. So if the user is found, return true. I hope you get the point. If I can find the user, return true. Or I could return the actual user object. But let me just return true. Returning user object might make it easier because I'll still definitely need it. So let's return the user object. Where am I doing that? Login. Process login, right here, all this. So I'll copy this for loop here, which ends here. So I copy this for loop and bring it here. Okay. Let's try to make changes. Everything is still set up to this point. Now I'm getting the user object. I'm converting it. I don't need this. I don't need this. And then I don't need this too. So this means user is set, so I don't need all this. I just need to return user object. Right, so find user, it's going to find the user and return the user object, or return false. That means no user object was found. Let's try to use this function on registration page. Process register. Let's try to use here, which is, so I can take all this out, I think. Yes, I can. I can take all this out, and then I can also do find user to be equal to, I believe I've already included my function here. I have not, so I need to require runs my function, which is functions user PHP, and then come down here to say find user. I wonder why I'm not being consistent with my naming today. This should be find user and send the user email. And so I can clean out all this here, and see if user exists. So if user already exists, just do this. Okay, this looks quite easy. I'm going to just try it out. Go to register, try to register. This already exists, so I'll try it out. And just, so everything still works, which is very good. So we've been able to separate into a single function and use it for that. And we can also do the same for this, save into database. So let's just do that quickly before I end this video. I'm going to write the function here. Save user, I'm going to say save user, and then just send user objects there. So I can come back to user and write my function. Save user, and take the user objects. And from the user objects, obviously I have my email there. So I can use that here. So I can do that here. And this will save my user in my user database. Okay, so that should also work. Let's try to register and say proper user now. PPP, that should be fine. Register, that already exists. Let's refresh. I'm not sure why that would exist. Let's see, maybe my find user function has a little problem. I'm checking, and then I'm doing this. Okay, so on this page, if you, right, that's the problem. That's the problem. Okay, so let's try this. I need to refresh, obviously. And change this. And big error, print error not found. Okay, so we need to include on which page? On login.php, login.php, have our alerts, and then we need to just do print alert. That should fix that. Refresh, and registration still works normally. So we've been able to separate registration, saving user to DB, and so on and so forth. You can write other functions like function update user to update the user data. You can write so many other functions. We might still be doing that, but this is getting way too long, and I would like to stop now to continue later.